Good evening to you all. You are welcome to today's lesson. So today's lesson will be the first of the lesson for week 6. So actually we are looking at the week 6 and that's section 4 for the first year biology. So I shared with you the documents that we need for today's lesson, and I'm sure by now you should have gone through. I shared it on last Wednesday, so about 5 days or so to today. You should have read through the documents. So this will be very interactive if only you are willing to talk. And you should be, because I've given this document to you for quite a very long time. So we'll be looking at what we call biological keys. So it's under the main topic that we call ecology. So ecology is the study of the environment, how they interact, organisms, how they interact with themselves and their environment. So basically things around us and the interaction or correlation and the coexistence between the organism and their environment to produce a stable unit or a self-sustaining unit, named as the ecosystem. When we study all these things, we refer to it as ecology. So for this week, our main focus is to look at what we call biological keys. So I will invite anyone who is willing and ready to tell us what you read and what you understand when we say biological keys. So we have 24 on the line, so minus my 3 devices, we have 21. So 21 of you are here, and I'm sure some of you might not be on the screen, so they can't hear what I'm saying right now. So the 22 of us here, now that we have joined, you can tell me what you have read. When we say biological keys, what comes into your mind? So we can move on with today's lesson. It's a very short lesson, so we should try and finish it tomorrow, God will, on Tuesday, we can start. Okay, very good. Patricia Jesse, talk to us. Yeah, those are good.
Biological keys are the keys used to identify organisms and their characteristics.
Very good. So there are keys that are used to identify organisms and their characteristics. So that's very good, Patricia. So we can also say that they are characteristics that help us to identify organisms. Instead of saying the keys, or you can still say they are the keys that help us to identify organisms based on their characteristics. So instead of saying keys, you can put it over there that there are a series of questions or there are guides that help us to identify organisms based on their characteristics. So do you have this? If you have it, then that qualifies you to be to the next stage. If you don't have it, then that also will make you over there. So it's like we are categorizing them based on what you have and what you don't have, and even how you possess those things. So that is biological keys. Thank you very much, Patricia. Any other person with a different view or an additional thought to add when we say biological keys? So we know that they are used in identifying or classifying organisms based on their possession of some characteristics, or they not having or lacking it. Any other person which you can raise up your hand and I'll come. A hand is up, but I've not seen it on my screen yet. Yeah, Animal Boateng, talk to us. Animal Boateng, yeah.
Biological are essentially keys used to identify organisms based on their characteristics.
Very good, perfect one. So yeah, Animal Boateng is saying that they are, I forgot what he said, sorry, but they are used to identify organisms based on their characteristics. So that is biological keys. They help us to identify organisms based on some set characteristics. So if you possess that characteristics, we can say that you do qualify to be part of this group of organisms. So, for instance, we have students over here. Most of us are from Yaks, Yasantua Girls Senior High School, and some of us are from different schools. So if you ask me which school do you attend, so based on the school you attend, we can categorize you. After categorizing you based on school, we can also categorize you based on class. And even in classes, we can also still classify you based on whether maybe are you seated in front or at the back, or even your house that you are in. So this series of questions that I will give, or this series of characteristics I will lay down, will qualify me to be able to direct. So as we say, biological living keys, they are like what help you to get to where you want to be. So these biological keys are giving you insight. They are giving you tips, or we call something lead, that help you to classify organisms based on their features. So based on this topic, we will learn how we classify organisms. So biological keys are like a guide that help you to classify organisms based on their characteristics or their differences. So thank you very much, all of us. We have done pretty well. So we have these key ideas. Later, try and go through. They are very essential before you study the lesson. And also after studying, they are very quick reminder for you. So the key ideas you keep it. So based on the key ideas, our definition for biological keys has been explicitly explained by Patricia and Ja and Imabuati. So we said biological keys are essential tools. So normally when you're defining something, you don't bring any of the key terms. That is, if as much as possible you can deal away with them, try and do away with the key terms of it. So we have biological and we have keys. So we try to take or explain them in the definition. So don't bring the word key in the definition. That is the best. But if you can't do away with it, fine, leave it that way. So biological keys are essential tools that are convenient or that help us to systematically identify organisms based on some information. So the essential tools of convenient systematic information used to identify unknown organisms based on their characteristics. So a systematic series of questions that we ask ourselves, and it will help us to group organisms or identify them based on their shared characteristics. So is it round? Is it having a tail? Is it having pentadactyl legs? Is it having fur? Is it having scales? Does it live in water alone? Does it live in both land and water? Based on these characteristics or keys that I've given, we'll be able to differentiate the organism from each other. If these guys are what we are talking about, then we can say that that is biological keys. So we have types of them that we have here. Later, we'll talk about them in the lesson. We have the numbered keys and dichotomous keys, which will very soon explain to ourselves. Then we have some key terms. We understand a couplet. So couplet from the word couple. I'm sure most of us have an idea of what a couplet is. But here, these couples, they are rather contradicting statements. So are you fat or you are thin? Are you fat? Are you fair or you are dark? So based on that, it has a tail, it doesn't have a tail. It has 4 limbs, it has 2 legs. It has maybe a girl, it doesn't have a girl. So these become complex. So they are two. Either you are here. So do you attend yaks or you don't attend? So based on that, we can differentiate you into 2. Now that you are in yaks, are you in science 1, 2, 3, up to science 11, or you are in home accounts 1 up to 4, or you are in this house 1 up to 7 or 8? So all these are the complex that we talk about. They are contradicting. So either you are there or you are there. There's no in between. Either you possess that characteristic, then we group you into a special characteristics. When those who don't have 2, they have their own category that we use to identify them, and that is called a complement. Then based on the complement, that's what we call a lead. So the individual sentences in the contrasting statement or the complement refer to them as lead because they guide you or they help you to reach the organism we are talking about. They give you a hint, let me say it that way. So individual statement of a couplet are called a lead. So we will understand that very well. Then we look at how we classify lower organisms based on their shared characteristics. Then from there we will look at the system of classification, the TASA as proposed by Carolus Linus. That is the 7 TASA. We have the domain, that is the kingdom. We have the phylum or division. We can talk about the class, order, family, and species. we look at that. And the naming system proposed by Carlos Munoz. Later this week, we talk about amoeba. Last time, someone asked about Pseudopodia in amoeba. By Tuesday, Wednesday, we will understand into much details the life cycle, or say the life processes of amoeba, Spirogyra, and I think Euglena. We will look at the rest will be taught in Form 2. Currently, we are seniors in Form 2 are looking at rhizophores and some other organisms. So now let's start the lesson. So you did well by explaining what biological keys are. So as we said, they are essential tools that conveniently, or they are essential tools that help us to also gather information about organisms to help us differentiate them. So as we have the definition here, they are essential tools of convenient systematic information. So they are information that we are providing you, and this information are giving you an idea as to how to identify organisms that you don't know. So for instance, I've given you a lot of materials over there. I say that round. So you look through the materials given to you. You separate those that are round from them that are not round. So either you are round or you are square shaped or any other shape. Based on those that are round, we can talk about the color, maybe red. So we will separate the red colored round shape from the yellow colored round shape of this. Then based on that, we can look at the size. Maybe is it larger, bigger, smaller, anything that we can talk about over there. So based on the lead that we have in the couplet, we're able to identify the organism. So I say that it is round. It is having two phases. It is having maybe ridges on the end. So at least that'll give an idea. I'm talking about something that looks like a coin. So based on the lead, be able to identify what we are talking about, which will be the coin. So biological keys are essential tools in classifying and identifying living organisms when they are properly constructed. So based on the construction of these biological keys, we would be able to identify organisms. So if I give you a very good description, for instance, I'm looking for someone in your class, I give you the description, sometimes you're able to point out the person I'm talking about, who I'm talking to you to. That becomes the lead. So I say that, oh, she is this and that. She normally wear this. So you look at those that normally wear either the customized check, or those that wear the Friday wear, or those that are wearing this kind of maybe the outing dress. She normally wear the cardigan on. She normally has a spectacle on or glasses on. So if I give all these things now, if I say the person wear glasses, you will separate those who don't wear from those that wear. Among them that way, who puts on a cardigan? Who normally puts on the, let me say, the outing dress or the Friday wear? All these things will help you to differentiate between. And among them who is also fair, she is fat, she is tall, she is dark colored, dark skin. All these things will direct you to be able to identify the person I'm talking about from the rest. That becomes your lead to find out. So when I give you a very good description of the person, you should be able to identify who that person is. So when I give you a very good description, it becomes easy for you to classify or help identify the person I am talking to you about. That is what biological keys also do. If they are well constructed, they serve as a guide or a lead for us to be able to identify or classify organisms. And I think that is what Aristotle did in classifying. So he was talking about either you can move, how the animal can move. So the animals were based on how they move. Can you fly? Can you walk? So those were like couplets. Either you fly or you walk, either you swim or maybe you crawl. Based on that, you classify them. Plant to look at, are you a tree? Are you a shrub? Are you a herbaceous plant? Based on that, you try to differentiate them. So all these are couplets that gives you a lead to identify organisms. So during how to use biological keys, you are given a series of choices about the creature you are trying to identify. So either you are this or you are that. These are choices. The criteria have been given to you. So based on the criteria, you are trying to make a meaning or identify the organism we are talking about. So it's like a riddle that we are given. Based on the riddle, you are able to know the actual thing that we are talking about. The first clue is very generic. It can refer to any other person or any other thing. But as we scale down to the fourth, fifth point, we are able to, okay, this definitely refers to this organism because it is having four pairs of limbs. We are talking about the class Arachnida, where the spider is. But when I say it is it is not having a shell, it's having a very light skin, soft body, then your mind will be coming to the spider instead of the tick and some other organisms. So that is why we use biological cues. So you keep on going, following the cues, selecting the predictable ones or the one that best fit, so you get a named organism. And we will do a practical based on this, and at least you understand better. So it's a very helpful tool for figuring out what different plants and animals are called. So let's know this, a couplet. So a couplet are a pair of contradicting statements that are used as a guide to help us identify organisms. So they contradict each other. Either you are on the other side or on the other extreme. So that is a couplet. So two contradicting statements. It is tall, it is short, it is light skin, it is dark skin. So the light skin will go to one side and the dark skin will also be at one side. That is a couplet. Now, each statement of a couplet is called a lead. So it is having a tail, that is a lead. It is having a tail, it doesn't have a tail. Together they are called couplets. They are contradicting. They differ from amalgamate them to become the same. But in this couplet, they are two different, and we are trying to bring them together. And each one of them is called a lead because they lead or guide you to a particular answer or the particular organism we are talking about. So when you make the correct choice at each level, eventually it leads to the arrival of the name of the organism. So if only you are able to get it correct from the first point to the last point, you should get the name organism correctly. So how do biological keys work? So we said biological keys, we're having a couplet over there, and within this couplet we have the individual statement that we call lead. So how do we use them to be able to identify the organism? So when we are using the biological keys, we should consider the points below. So look at where my mouse pointer is. First one is the statement. So the two statements together are called couplet. The second one is called the lead. So the key gives two statements about the organism. So read the two statements. Which one best fit the organism we are talking about? That will lead you to the next point. So after reading the statement very clearly and keenly, you should be able to decide which statement is true for the organism you are trying to identify. So the organism is there was in mind. It has two pair of limbs. But we see that the animal is having only a pair of legs. So that animal doesn't qualify to be a mama because mamas have four pair of legs, or two pair of legs or four. And a bird in the class age will have a single pair, one pair. The rest are modified into wings. So looking at the organism that we have mentioned to you, you should be able to scale down to get the actual organism you are referring to. So after making your choice diligently and correctly, the next step is based on your choice, the key will lead you to another set of statements. So it has four pair of legs. Now it has a fair on it. So at least we know that we are talking about. Then it has maybe we talk about carnation titor. It has a long-toothed canine. Then we know we are moving to carnivore area instead of the herbivores. So when you get the first one, there's another statement that precedes it that will also lead you to scale down to the particular organism we are talking about. So you keep on going, so you read the last statement, and that will help you to reach home or read the organism we are trying to talk about. So we have types of biological keys. The first one we have here is dichotomous keys. Dichotomous keys. So they are keys that are used. So here the statements are not just numbered, they are written. So dichotomous from the word two. So they are just written as statement, and you are trying to based on the statement to identify them. So they represent you with two choices or a comment at a time. So all the two statements are given at a time, then you mark down to the organism you are referring to. So you start with the broad characteristics. You select the option that best describes the organism we are talking about. Then as you progress, the choices become more specific, narrowing down to having the possible organism that we are referring to until you arrive at the direct organism or the direct characteristics to identify that said organism we are talking about. So it goes through a step-by-step process, and it is written, let me say, in a word form, or in not numbered. So they are written together. So let's look at something we have here. So this example of a dichotomous key, we don't number it. The numbered keys, we see we number it like 1 point, this and that, then we move on. But the dichotomous keys looks like this. So for instance, we just write insect. So if you are an insect, some insects have wings, some don't have. And even those that have wings, it is shown in their maturity or their mature state. If the insect is not mature, it doesn't have wings. Example that we can talk about is a grasshopper. If the grasshopper is not, it's a name, it doesn't, okay, the name just represents the adult, but that it doesn't have wings. Later on, it will develop wings that it can fly. Mosquito, what is a pupa or larvae, it doesn't have wings. When they become an adult, that is where the wings will come. So all these things means that insects can have wings or not. And some insects don't have wings at all. So based on that, you're able to identify them. So either you have wings or you don't have. Now let's scale down to those who don't have wings. So those who don't have wings, we can also classify them. Either you have a waist or you don't have waist. So some of them, they have what we call a cephalothorax. So their head is just linked with, okay, it's cephalothorax. So their head is just linked. So their head and thorax is just linked, and it just move with their abdomen. So you don't see any constriction at their thorax and their abdominal part. And we say they don't have a waist. So some of them don't have waist. Some also have waist. Example is the ant. When you see the ant, you see that it has a waist. It has a very small waist that is like a timber with a very protruded abdomen. So the ant has a waist. And some ants don't have wings. I do understand that some ants have wings, but let's look at those that do not have at all, even at their mature state. So ants don't have wings. They also lack waist. Sorry, but they have waist. When we talk about louse, plural lice, they don't have wings. And to add that to that, they also don't have waist. So based on that, we can say that the louse, if we say an insect, it doesn't have wings. It doesn't also have a waist. Then what will come into your mind will be the louse here. You can also talk about mites as well. So the louse and even these organisms, the tick also doesn't have it. So you can see that they don't have wings. They don't also, and even the bed bags that we know. So later I will invite you to add up to what I've just said. And some are wasted, they have a waist. We can talk about the ants that has no wings, but it also has a small waist. The next one, so that's the dichotomous case. We take 1 point, then we draw the map till we get to a particular name organism. So insects too, if you're grouping them into either you have wings or you don't have. So let's go to those that have wings. Among them that have wings, you can also have, is it just a pair of wings or a two pair of wings? Because some have just one pair of wings, others have two pair of wings. Example we call the dragonfly, that we call in the order Odonata. So dragonflies, this when we're kids, we always say crack aeroplane. So I don't know your locality how you call it. Normally they are around a waterlogged area, like where we have ponds and the rest. They have just two wings that look this way, then they fly. So normally with a very long abdomen. So that one we call the dragon fly, and it's the other Odonata. So you see that one, they have just one pair of wings. Mosquito has one pair of wings. The last one is reduced what we call hottest. So later when we are learning about mosquito, you do appreciate them. I'm sure some of us read about them. Yeah, most of us read the JSS. So we know that they have one pair of wings. The second one is being reduced what we call hottest. That help them in balancing and steering themselves. So those who have wings, either you have a pair of wings or you have two pair of the wings. Now, among them that have one pair of wings, so I say there's an organism, it has a wing. Now you forget about the ant and the louse. If I say it has wings, you'll be thinking about all the insects that have wings. And also, okay, this one has a pair of wings. So now you forget about the honeybee and other organisms that have two pairs of wings, the butterfly, the moth, and the rest. and the cockroach and what we call it, the grasshopper, they have two pairs. So we think about those that have only one pair. Then among them that have a pair of wings, I cannot say that okay, that's one pair of wings, but it has no simple eyes. So it means that the eye is a compound eyes, and this one has three simple eyes. So as soon as I say three simple eyes, if you know the category of housefly, you should know we are talking about housefly because it has simple eyes, but three of them over there in the ocelli. Then we have mosquito having no simple eyes, meaning it has a compound eye. So that become a dichotomous key. They are written in text. We don't number it. Then based on the step that we draw a map to list them to the specific characteristics until we get an identifying mechanism to link to that characteristics. Now let's come down here. Those that have two pair of wings. Yeah, you are an insect, you have a wing. The wings are two pairs. But are you hairy or you are not hairy? So is the body hairy? Then we can think about the butterfly and the moth. They have a lot of hairs on there, but some too are not hairy. We can think about cockroach. A lot of organisms can fit here. We can talk about a lot of insects, sorry, can fit here. We can talk about the grasshopper, it can fit here. We can talk about the green weevil. Most of them can fit here. We can talk about the cotton stammer. But when we talk about the hairy body, particularly, we can refer to the butterfly and the moth. And though butterfly and moth, most of them have a hairy skin. But we can also use their antennae to differentiate them. Normally, butterfly has a pointed antennae, but the moth will have, the moth have a pointed antennae, and the butterfly have a flap antennae. But the moth can also have feathery antennae. It can have different shape and size of the antennae. Some looks like feathers, some are pointed, some are also hairy, and some are different. But that of butterfly, they are always clapped. So that's look like let me call it has a pointed head, like something like that, and a very slender body. So the butterfly has a clapped antennae, whilst the moth can have a pointed one, it can have a feathery one, or even a hairy antennae. So based on these clues that we have given, we've been able to scale down. So like a riddle, if I say I'm an insect, I do have wings, and my wings are two, so I have a two pair of wings. I have a hairy body, and my antennae is flat. Who am I? Then at least based on these keys, we can scale down to the insect. Okay, it has wings, it has two pair of wings. Now we are here. It has a hairy body, then we are down there. It has a clapped antennae. Then the next one that we can see is a butterfly. That is a dichotomous example of it. So you can also draw your own by saying, maybe say animals. So either you have a fair, you are a mammal, or you are not, or based on whether you can walk or you can fly. You can do that. Those that walk, do that fly. Then those that fly, you have birds in mind. Then you can talk about those that can fly for longer hours, or that fly for short time. Then we can differentiate the actual birds from the fowls and the rest that we have in the house. Then based on that, you can also break them down. Is it domestic or it is a found in the wildlife? So based on that, you can classify them into different. Then you can figure out the actual organism you are leading to using the dichotomous key. So under the numbered keys, and let me tell you one thing, you can change a dichotomous key to a numbered key and vice versa. You can also change a numbered key to a dichotomous key. I wish I could finish the numbered key, then I will invite you for questioning. I think that will be a good idea if you allow me. So let me just look at the numbered key. There will be an example down there, and I will explain to you. So the numbered key, it will be like this. Number one, maybe the insect that have wings. If you say the insect has wings, go to number 3. Number 2 will be the insect has no wings. If it has no wings, go to point 4. So under point 3, you will say that does it have a wrist? Then if you say yes, then ant will be there. Then number 3 over there too. It doesn't have a wrist, then you know it's a louse. If it has no wings, move to point 4. So point 4 over there, you write it as a pair of wings. If it has a pair of wings, move to point 6 because the point 5 will be for it has 2 pair of wings. But let me make it easier by showing you from the screen so that some don't get confused. So in numbered keys, each statement or couplet is assigned a number. Instead of us to write them and draw it as a chart, and at this point we are giving them numbers. So number 1, it has wings. Number 2, it doesn't have wings. If you don't have wings, then you refer to point 3 because point 3 will be the continuation. Instead of them going that way, this one, you go to a point. If you don't meet what you want there, it will direct you to go to a point 5 or point 6, some 2 or 1 point ahead, whereby you can look at what you want. So it's like you went to a boutique that has a lot of let me say apartments or divisions over there. So they go to the first floor. So maybe the ground floor normally will be for kids or maybe adult, depending on how they want to arrange it. Then the second floor will be for maybe ladies, gents. Some will be for maybe different criteria. So based on that, so normally the general goods will be on the ground floor. Then the peculiar or unique ones will be at the top floor. So based on that, if you don't get what you want here, they will advise to go to the next apartment or to the next division to get what you want. So if you don't get it from the ground floor, you will check from the first floor, the second, third, till the very last division or section they have in that boutique. So that is how numbered keys also goes. If you don't get it from the point 1, you are being given the link to move to point 2. If you don't get it from point 2, you go to point 3, point 4, based on the qualification to identify the organism. So the user chooses the statement that best describes the organism they identify, and the corresponding number leads them to a set of choices. This will continue till the person gets the last descriptive point that talks about the organism. Before we look at the importance, let's look at example here. So this example of a numbered key. So we see there's a point here, no legs. So if you have no legs, you are being advised to come to point 2. So those don't have legs. Yes, you don't have legs, and you don't have a shell. That is no shell. That's the slug. And this slug look like a snail without a shell. So to simply explain to you, it looks like a snail without a shell. So like taking the snail, drawing it at that shape, and putting small eyes at the top there, that becomes a slug. But if you have a shell, then you are a snail. So you don't have leg and you have a shell, that means you're a snail. We have ended that. If you don't have legs and you have no shell, you're a slug. So it means that the point 1 here, so please look directly onto my screen. If this was to be a dichotomous key, it will be maybe animals or maybe organisms, maybe let me say animals. Then you draw this no legs, then legs. When we have the no legs, you will bring the whole of this. Please look closely to my screen. So we have these numbers will be off. So all these numbers will be off. I don't want to be using my highlight and the I don't take care. So okay, you let me use this one and see if one is not cause havoc. So all these things will leave. Then this will be insect, no legs. Then there will be another diagram here like this. If you have no legs, then the next one will be shell. Let me write with my hand. So it will be shell. So do you have a shell? Then there will be another one. Then down there, no shell. So no shell. I'm using the mouse, so it will be a very good writing. So that will be something like this. Then if you have a shell, then we can say that okay, then you are a snail, then the snail will come. Then no shell, then the next one will be what we are talking about. So that is how, if we want to make this one a dichotomous key, it will become like, but it is a numbered key. Alright. Then where we have this thing over there, we could have also said that. So one here we have no legs. Instead of go to 2, we will bring the whole of point 2 here. Legs. Instead of go to point 3, we will bring here, okay, the legs. Either you have legs, then we can say you have 6 legs. So 6 legs, or you have more than 6. So I'll say more than 6 legs. So that one will be down here, more than 6. So let me just put the 6 there. Then if you are more than 6, say go to 4. Then you go to point 4. Point 4, what is there? Wings. So those that have more than 6. So okay, those that have 6 legs, do you have wings? So then there will be another point here, wings. I'll just make it W. Another one will be here, no wings. Let's make it NW. So you see, this is a numbered key, but we can make it a dichotomous key, as we are all seeing from my screen. So that's the differences. And this our dichotomous key. Later, we can look at how we can make it a numbered key. So now, I'll pause here. We know how we call a dichotomous key. It is written like a chart. Very good, like a flow chart. You move there, you go there, as we have a concept mapping. But under the numbered keys, it's the same concept though. But numbered keys, we are numbering them. If we don't get what you want, it will direct you to the next number to go until you need the final description. So here you see that this is the end. So it becomes still. If I want to show you something here, this is a dichotomous key. So I can say number 1, insect, no wings. Then number 2, wings. So when I write no wings, I will say go to point 3. Then I will say at the point 3, I will say wasted. Then because from the wasted, there's no other criteria there, I will say then you are an ant. Then to the point 4, if no waste, I will say you are a louse. Then to the point 5, I'll come to where the wings are. So 1 pair of wings, then I will say go to point 7. 2 pair of wings, maybe point 8. Then it continues that way. So I also get a particular answer organism that best fit my criteria. At this point in time, I will point, before we look at the importance, if you have a question on the definition for biological case, if you have a problem, then you let us know. Or you are finding trouble understanding the dichotomous key and the keys. So you can raise up your hand. I will invite someone. Then you can share with us your question or your challenges. If you all understand to let me know, that you can move on. This lesson is not that cumbersome and that phenomenal, so we can try and finish tonight. God willing. If you have an issue, you can raise up your hand. I will invite you to voice it out. If you want to add up something to, you are warmly welcome to add up. If your hand is up, I have not seen yet, so you can unmute your microphone if your hand is up. Okay, I haven't seen any hand here too. Alright, then let me invite you to help us. What is Natalia, that long time, okay, I hear. Natalia says she doesn't understand. Okay. But Natalia, do you understand the dichotomous key? Quickly type, let me know. Any other person like Natalia who is having an issue understanding? Okay, very good. She understands the dichotomous. Okay, can someone help to explain to Natalia? Say me too. Okay, no one will say me too. I get it. Michelle, I hear you. So can someone who understands explain to them? Is there anyone who understands as simple as I explained to you? Then you can open your microphone, you guide your colleagues. That also motivates them to understand better. Okay, so someone said number, someone said dichotomous, I hear. Okay, so please, I always advise you to read through before we start the lesson, but I do understand. I will go through. Yeah, when you understand it the hard way, you forget the hard way. So I'll go through again. But I think this will be for the very last time. So please, before you realize, you just know that some of them just join, but don't worry. So let's look at the definitions again. So now we said we have biological keys, and biological keys are a guide or series of questions that help us to identify organisms or classify them. So for instance, I come to your class, I'm looking for someone. You remember when you first came, you didn't know your teachers. So sometimes you take teacher, because I'm looking for this master. It is called math. So at that time, I'll forget about all the biology masters. I'll think about math teachers. Then I'll think about those who teaches form or those who teach form one. Then I'll look through. Does it teach called maths or e-maths? Does it teach the science students or the art or the visual art or another class? Then sometimes you have descriptions. I remember one student once said something. I don't want to say it here. He said that as I'm looking for this teacher, the one that normally wear this. Then I realized, okay, that's my friend that he's looking for. Are you getting it? Or maybe the teacher that normally wear lenses or that ride this car, that bring, or the one that does mobile money, that withdraw money for us. Then I will know I'm looking at two teachers. If you're talking about mathematics, I know the master you are referring to because of the description. So these are called keys or hints. So if I'm looking at a particular madam, I'll say how says mistress. Is it A or B? Then I'll mention it. Then I'll say, okay, the mission that is chemistry. You should know the madam I'm talking about. So all these categories we are giving help me to identify someone. Those are the biological keys. So we have two contrasting statements that we call couplets. So either you teach it mathematics or biology. If I talk about biology, at least you add me to the teachers. If you talk about mathematics over there, I'll be out of the same because I don't teach mathematics over there. So if I teach that, then there will be something that we use to differentiate me from the other teachers or from the other colleagues. Those are the complex. But a particular statement, he teaches chemistry. He doesn't teach chemistry. So he teaches chemistry is a lead. But he teaches chemistry, he doesn't teach chemistry. Both of them become a complex. So people are saying they don't understand the dichotomous key. Oh, sorry, my screen is showing something else. Let me just go over there. So when we talk about the dichotomous key, here it is written like, let me say, in a name or sentence form. It is not numbered. We don't number it. So we have written it together. That is the dichotomous key. But in the numbered keys, we give them numbers. So number one, he teaches biology. He doesn't teach biology. Number two, he is tall. He is short. Number three, he is fair. He is not fair. Number four, form one, form two. So we see we have numbered it. But in the dichotomous key, we don't number. We just make it like a flow chart, like what we call like a concept mapping. So these are the bases. And I've even explained to you that you can convert dichotomous to number, and you can also convert number to dichotomous. But the main difference is the representation or how we do present them to you people. Someone says she can't hear me. The rest of it, I can hear myself. I get some feedback from my other device. So please, if you can't hear me, check your network. And also, you can decide to leave the class and join very shortly. Thank you very much. I'm sure others can hear because I can hear myself. So in the dichotomous key, it is written like a concept map or a flow chart form. So let me show you something here. I have to clean all this to have written over there. So you see here, in dichotomous keys, we are talking about insects. You could have written one. If it was numbered, I can write one, no wings. Then at the point of no rings, I will say if you have no rings, go to point 3. Then when I get to point 3, are you wasted? If you're having waste, you are an ant. If you don't have waste, you are allowed. So the dichotomous look like just a written sequence of paired and characteristics. It is just written. There is no number. It's like a sentence form, like a phrase or paraphrase, or something that we have written over there. But under the number, we give them numbers. So simple dichotomous key are written straight away like a flow chart or a concept map. Without numbering them, we just follow the chart. But under the numbered keys, we number them with number 1, number 2, number 3. But you can also change them as I've told you, vice versa. So the dichotomous like the flow chart sequential. So we can say insect, it has wings or no wings. If you have wing, are you wasted? Like, do you have waste or you don't have waste? Then that is an ant or lounge. Then under another one, okay, those that don't have wings. So it means that this one doesn't even take space. It makes it very, very nice. You just follow the chart. So to me, I believe this one is the easiest and the well presentable one. You can look it at a whole. But the numbered keys, you might get a little bit confused. But this is the best to represent because this gives you a flow chart. But sometimes you could be asked to make it a numbered key. So this is the dichotomous key, trying to have a flow chart over there that prevents you from missing an important idea because you are not asked to move here, move there. It is just shown to you at a glance. So you know this is what you are being presented with. So let me come here to the numbered keys. So with the same idea, the numbered keys, we attach numbers to the characteristics. So at the numbered key, we will say 0.1. Let me try and clear everything here. We say 0.1, no legs or legs. Then no legs, instead of writing, so now look here, we could have brought the whole of, oh sorry, what happened to my screen? We could have brought, so now we say no legs. As you can see here, no legs, legs. We could have brought the whole of this point here to here, so that the number one will be off. It will be no legs. If you have no legs, then another point will be here. As I explained to you, we have the shell and no shell. Then those who have legs, we can bring the whole of point 3 here. Then the point 3 will be 6 legs or 4 legs. So we can decide to carry all that we have here. Then we arrange them based on when we see the 2 and 3. Then it becomes a dichotomous tree. So it's like a numbered key try to break down or pull the branches of a dichotomous tree, then arrange them horizontally or vertically over there. But in the dichotomous tree, it arrange them horizontally at a glance. So that is the difference between a numbered key and the dichotomous key. Numbered keys try to separate them into individual points by numbering them, and dichotomous keys just flow with the chart. If you understand, let me know by now. You can give me a thumbs up if you have a better understanding now. Someone says, please, I can't see. So please, if you can't see, always it's your network. I can see my screen from both devices. So please kindly off or exit it and join again, or try accessing the internet. It could be your. So thank you very much. So we can make a dichotomous key as a numbered key, and you can also make a numbered key as a dichotomous key. Thank you very much for understanding. Normally the questions will help us to bring a better understanding to all of you. So don't feel shy when you want to ask questions. I appreciate all those questions that you ask. It also helped me to explain them better and get better ways of explaining things to you guys. So now let's follow through this. I'll give you an assignment. So the assignment I will give you is, you see this dichotomous key, convert it. You've not been utilizing the Google Classroom very well, so I don't know whether I should put it there. Last time I showed you that one lady, is it Mary and Chen, was the one that did it. In the first classroom, we are 249 there. I checked today in the afternoon, still only her has done it. And in the other classroom, those that joined later, that have named room 2, I think 11 of you have answered. You are 119 so far. The other class, we are 249, only one person. And that Mary and Chen is in both classes. Mary Kids, that's the username. Sorry if I didn't get to identify you. So please, let me give you the word. You can put it down. So you are converting this dichotomous key to a numbered key. So later I will decide whether I'll put it in whole class, then you will show it to me. So you convert this one to a numbered key. It will be a little bit difficult, but try as much as possible. But the easiest one will be how to convert this numbered key to dichotomous, because you are just lifting it. So you say go to point 2, you will lift point 2, you come and keep it there. When they say go to point 3, you lift point 3, you go and put it there. When they say point 4, you lift it, then it becomes so easier. But breaking it becomes a little bit difficult. So now let's talk about the importance of biological keys. Now you know what a biological key is. What do you think are the importances? So you can open up your microphone. You help us tell us one importance of biological keys, or why you think they're important. Anyone who is ready, you can raise up your hand. I will invite you to tell us and importance of biological things. Yeah, hand is up. Let me check. Yeah, I think Patricia. Yeah, thank you very much. You are the first person to give us definition. Patricia, explain to us or tell us the importance of biological things. Oh, I got Patricia. Okay, Patricia, if you're on the line, you can talk to us. Okay, yeah, remember what you also gave the second definition. Help us again.
Biological keys help scientists to identify organisms that are unfamiliar.
Yeah, very good. That are unfamiliar. It can also help you to identify those that are familiar. So it helps us in identification of a organism. And they also use that in classification. So for instance, you found an organism that you think is very, very big. So how do you put them based in the clade, or let me say the taxa? So you look at the characteristics. Maybe you find an organism that looks just like a snail. So you can put the organism under osteitis where fish, tilapia, and the rest are. Based on the characteristics, you associate them with pre-existing organisms. So you'll be able to know the unknown by linking them with the known. Then you get a peculiar class for it, or maybe a species for it. Thank you very much, yeah, Adima Boateng. Any other person to help us with an importance of biological keys? Now that we know how biological keys are, what are the importance? I'm here to see them. Yeah, linear, okay. Linear, talk to us.
It aids in understanding biodiversity.
It helps in understanding biodiversity. So this biological it helps us to identify different organisms. Now, if you don't have a distinctive feature about some people, how can you know that they are diverse? So they help us to identify that okay, we have different organisms based on their differences, and that shows that biodiversity, how diverse or different organisms we have. So, for instance, I don't know, our twins haven't been joined of late. So, there is science 11. If you see twins, if you don't know that they are twins, you think that it's one person. But there are some distinctive features to identify them. Once you know that, okay, then it's not just the same person that I see. There are some two twins way back in my senior high school. One is a fire service personnel, and one is a driver. They are in Ghana currently. They work in Sudan. So a friend told me that the one that drives or something you can take the officer's cab or something. People see him, they think it's the officer. So when the police see him driving his car, they think it's the officer that is driving the car. So they don't even ask him about the particulars because he can have the fire service flag and something over there. So since they don't know that they are twins, they assume that they have seen the officer, so they don't try to worry him on the road. But we that know that they are twins and can see the differences, if I see that he has the uniform on, I can tell no, this is senior, not junior, who is the officer. So we see because they don't know the characteristics, they can't differentiate. So they assume that okay, he's the officer. People officer, I just saw you. When did you change to drive car right now? He doesn't know. But those that know can know how diverse or different they are. So as Lillian said, it helps us to know about how diverse organisms are because we know their differences. You know, okay, so this is different from that. That is the idea. Is any hand now? Okay, Steven Quatin. Steven, you're welcome. Tell us what the importance of biological is. Steven, if you are talking, your mic is off. Patricia, if you are ready, you can talk to us. Steven.
It helps taxonomists to define and classify organisms based on their characteristics.
Yes, based on their characteristics. So based on their characteristics that organisms have, that's why. Okay, very good. It helps people statistics. So it's the study of how we classify organisms based on their claim. help them to classify organisms. I think another hand was it Patricia Jesse?
It shows the step-by-step flow of organisms, which help in identifying some animals.
So it had in the flow chart, like we have in the dichotomous key. So series of statements like the flow chart that help us to get features that are particularly associated with an organism, thereby identifying them. So give us a flow chart that help us to identify. Oh, okay, so that's the organism we are talking about. I give you some characteristics about a teacher. Oh, that teacher, it best defines Michael. It best defines Mr. Ampoff. It best defines maybe Mr. George or this person because they think that you will define. So sometimes when your mom comes, they try to identify. They'll talk about your house and this. We might have a lot of Patricia on campus, but we say Form 1, we say Science class, Science 11 or Science 3. You will not have as many as Patricia in the school as in one class. So if you have 30 Patricias, there could be only one in your class or two. If their surname is there and your mom can describe your nature, then that will directly out, oh, it's Patricia, maybe this person, be able to identify. So that is how it does. Any other person who ever to that important countries, maybe one or two that we are done. So you see that all of them are hovering around identification, appreciating diversity, and helping us to classify organisms. So here are some other importance for your per user. So it is very crucial in the field of taxonomy because taxonomies they study classification of organisms and they also do. And ecology also we need to learn them because we know that they are diverse, they are different. So if we don't know that a moth is different from the butterfly, I'm sure as at now some people don't know the difference between a moth and a butterfly. The moth is the one that comes in the night. They're the ones that we call them Ghana, Pia, and the rest. They have a lot of feathers on them. Let's say powder. If they fly or you catch them, you have a lot of powder substance on you. Then we have the butterfly, the one that we normally see in day. Butterfly is diurnal and the moth is nocturnal, active in the night, whilst the butterfly is active in the day. When the butterfly is at the place, the wings are held vertically, so its wings are held upwards. But when the moth is at rest, the wings covers it this way. So once you know that, okay, so a moth is different from a butterfly, then we have two different organisms instead of one. So that is what happens. Very good. Someone gave a good definition. Someone said, yeah, the one that normally count to the bulb because it's the night, they will count to where the bulb is, and those one are referred to as the bulb. Thank you very much. Let me look it very well. From my other device, I couldn't see it well. So let me check who gave that excellent observation. I think that's Natalia. She was the first or one of the first to join. It was Maria Natalia. So that the ones that come here, the bulb. Very good. Some also say something here. It helps in more familiarity with the organism we have described. Very, very good point that some of you were giving in the comment section. Very good melody. I've seen yours. Thank you very much. You really done well. So then I'll have to be checking the comment section or the section very often. Alright. So these are that. If there's no any other question, can I continue? So there's a task for us. If there's any question, can you mute your microphone then ask your question? Okay, very good. Raymond, I think that is it. Oh, why is a butterfly? Okay, it's a very brilliant question. How is the butterfly? Let me go and read it. It's not part of our question today, but our brother will find out. Raymond Hemingway. Please, why is the butterfly active in the day and the moth is active in the night? So normally we call something biological clock. That is how God has put in us. A friend of mine moved to the state and he was telling me what happened to his younger daughter. They're over here, case by 7 or 6 years, the child should be going to sleep because it will be dark. But when they went over there, as young as she is, now she can't tell the difference between day and night. She can sleep daytime, and by 12 midnight, she's awake disturbing. Because over there, you can't see day, you can't see night. So her cycle has not been taken. You, the adult, you can check your time and you force yourself to sleep at that time. So we can talk about their biological clock in there and also their adaptation. There's a reason. Why is it that some animals feed in the day, some feed in the night? Some try to escape their predators. So all depends on the reason their biological clock in there and their mannerism. Now, what does the butterfly eat? The butterfly normally takes in these sweet from the nectar and the rest, and that is the best time to get the best from the plant. So they are active in the day, but the moth otherwise they come in the night. Sometimes you see them around the sun. They can also take some other organisms, smaller one that they can feed on. Some also use the fruits to feed on nectar and some other things. But the point is the butterfly comes during the day based on its biological clock, and there is behavior that it exhibits during the day because it is needed most of the day. But the moth will come active in the night. But sometimes you see butterfly walking around at the daytime, so if there's enough light, you can see them. But naturally, since they woke up in the night, so in the day, by night time, they should be sleeping. Their biological clock will reach their sunset. But if you also wake up in the night, so it's like someone who does a night shift. If the person go for a night shift, by daytime that you are awake, the person will feel sleepy. He has to go and sleep. So it depends on how God created them, and also make the diversity that we are talking about very, very important. So that is a brief understanding I will give to my brother Henry. So if there's no question, let's look at a task over here. We are considering an example of how biological IQ can be used to identify 6 birds that are native to Ghana, or 6 birds that we have in Ghana. So we have the first one, the Abyssinian roller. Then we have the African green pigment. We have the Ife pigment, the black crown chagra. We have the African jacana and the yellow-fronted fingerbird. So these are some birds that are native to Ghana. So now I'll ask the question, then you will tell us. So, but first, let's look at the organism. If you have your device with you, just check it very, very well. So I'm giving you some 2 seconds or so. Check the organisms. Check the organisms. Check the organisms. Okay, now we say long tail. So can anyone mention an organism that has a long tail? You just open up your microphone. Looking at them, long tail. How many do you have? Or you can put it in the comment section. Okay, hand is up. Steven, thank you very much. Steven, long tail.
Abyssinian ruler.
And what else?
And black crowned Tigara.
Chagra. Okay, chagra. So the Abyssinian ruler and the black crowned chagra. So you see, when you look at them, they are the two that have long tail. But this thing has to lead to what? There will be another lead that will help us to know the differences, whether it's the Abyssinian ruler or the chagra. So if we are to make this one is a numbered key, as you know. If you are to make this one a dichotomous key, we would have written a long tail. Then a long tail, there will be another one. Is it brown feathers or frog tail or light blue feathers? So our brother Steven said that if you are talking about long tail, then what can come into mind is these two, the Abyssinian ruler or the black crown chagra. But which of them are you talking about? We don't know. And the second point is it a brown feathers, black bar on the head? If we talk about brown feathers, I want another person to help me. Another person. Now, Stephen gave us 2 possible answers. Now, there's another one. Long tail, by having the brown feathers and black bar on the head. What organism are we now referring to? I want another person other than Stephen to help us. Oh, just raise up your hand. Oh, as you just call someone randomly. Now, we have been scaled down to 2 from the multitude. The hand is up. The hand is not appearing on my screen. Okay, Patricia just say, okay, help us, parts. Okay, someone answered
It's the black crown chagra. Oh,
Very good. Because it has a long tail, it also have brown feathers and the rest. So you can also type in the comment section. I saw, I think, is it Michelle? Someone typed in the comment section. Yeah. Someone said, yeah, Michelle Foria is the black crown chakra. The reason is it has a long tail and also possess a brown covered eye. Someone said African Jacana. African Jacana could be the answer because now look here. We said long tail, go to point 2. So it means long tail that also has this. So if this was to be a dichotomous tree, the whole of this. So the one that's African Jacana, you are not wrong. If that was the first question, but it's a follow-up question. So we say that long tail goes to. So this point 2 here should have been fixed here. Then it will be something like this. Let me use B, so brown feathers. Let me use BF, brown feathers. And here would have been forktail. So forktail. So forktail. Let me use my hand to do over there. These are brown feathers. Then short tail. We say go to point 3. There will be another line there. Then over there we write green feathers. So green feathers. Then we have feathers not green. So that's how it would have become. So the best answer here, as we have said, is the organism that we call the, let me check the name, the chakra, the black crown chakra, because the organism that has a long tail with brown feathers with a black bar on the head. So this one has a black bar on the head, it has brown, but the only difference is that the African jacana doesn't qualify for the point 1, which is a long tail. Now let's go to the second one. Those who have short tail. For the short tail, we have the other 4. That is the African green pinion, the Afet pinion, the African jacana, and the yellow-fronted thinkerberg. All these are having short tail. Who are we referring to? So short tail, go to point 3. Now we are here. So point 3 is referring to those that have short tail. You have to get the idea very, very correctly. So those that have short tail, we can have green feathers. So let me do something here. So short tail, if we were to draw the bar, we have something like here, green feathers. So green. Then the second one will be feathers not green. So feathers not green. Then green feathers. Let's go and check organisms that have green feathers. Which one have green feathers? It's only one. And the only one will be this. Don't say Abyssinian roller, because Abyssinian has a long tail. Have you got a point here? If you say Abyssinian, you are wrong, because we are saying short tail and a green color. If you are saying long tail and green or blue, we would have talked the Abyssinian. But we say short tail, and that disqualifies the Abyssinian roller, qualifies African pinion and the rest. But the green, in addition, links to only one, because it's the only bird here that has a short tail with a green color. So that best gives us a direction or a lead to the African green pinion. Let's go to the next one. Feathers not green. If the feather is not green, then we can talk about the rest. That is the 3 remaining. So it could either be the Afet pinion, the African jacana, or the yellow-fronted thinkerberg. So from there to, let's go to point 5. So you see contrasting features, either green or not green. If you are not green, you say let's move to point 4. Leg as long as body with 4 long toes. So here the African jacana will come, because it's the only organism here that has a short tail. Even it has the shortest tail. Look at the tail here, very, very short. Assuming it doesn't even have a tail. So it has a very, very short tail. And the tail over there too is having long body, leg as long as body. Leg is very, very long and has 4 long toes. So we see 4 long toes. That then describes the African jacana. And the leg shorter than body. We can have the 2 remaining. That is the yellow-fronted thinkerberg and the Afet pinion. So the next line of question will try to differentiate the 2. Small bird with a yellow breast feathers. So small bird, yellow breast feathers. You come and check. Small bird, yellow feathers. Small bird, yellow feathers. So you come here. In between these 2, And because even the name says yellow fronted zinc, and then you refer to this organism because this pinion is larger than this one. So it's a yellow fronted thinker. And the last one is large bird with a dark blue, that is the aphid pigment. So that is the numbered keys that we use to identify the organism at the top. So normally the answers wouldn't have been there, you would have written it. But this is a guide to help you to be able to identify such organism when you are being asked to use a numbered keys. As I told you, you can convert this numbered keys to a dichotomous keys. So the question is I'm giving to you is convert the dichotomous keys in this to numbered, and the numbered keys to convert them to a dichotomous key. That will show me that you really do understand what we are teaching. Thank you very much. Let me check the next example. So let's check another one here. I don't know. Are people asking questions? So I'm getting a lot of bubbles. Okay. So people are just showing that they do understand. Thank you very much. So I can see from mobile device. So I should. Okay, let's continue. So there's another one here. No leaves, stems or shoot. Then you are thinking about moss, fen, and those organisms, but don't worry, you'll get there. So organism that has no leaves, no stem or root, then it's not a true plant. It doesn't have a vascular system. Then we say, okay, others have leaves, stems, and root. So this point two, as I've explained to you, would have come here. So the whole of point two will be here as a dichotomous key. Then we can say it's photosynthetic. Let me use P. Then non-photosynthetic. Let me use NP. Then those that are photosynthetic, we can say then we can write RGC. So this will be our dichotomous key. So RG, sorry, is not going. Yeah. Then non-photosynthetic. Where are we going? We can refer to the fungi. So here to be counted like that fungi. Then the leaves and stem, we can create another thing for them. It says go to point 3. So are you having seed? Then we can write our seed here. There no seed. Sorry, no seed first, but I have misplaced them. No seed. Those who are having no seed, then we say go to 4. So if you have no seed, do you have roots? Then we can write the root here. Or you have a simple, then we have it there. The simple one is the mosses. So we can have our moss here. And those that have the fruit, they are fen. So root and fen, they have the fen. Then we can come to those that are not having, that have the seed. Over there, we are going to point 5. Then you bring the whole of point 5 inscription. Is the seed naked or it is covered with a leaf, or it is covered with flowers? Then is it one leaf or one seed, or it is 2 seed? So this is a numbered key, and we can convert it to a dichotomous key as I have been explaining consistently. So now let's look here. There are some plants, no leaves, stems or root. Okay, we don't know the plant. You can be thinking about a lot of them, but let's move. And others have leaves, stems, and root. If you have leaves, stems, and root, the next question or the next couplet is in point 3. So let's start from the first one, the point 2. So plants that have no leaves, stems, and root, and they are photosynthetic. Then you can think about an algae or seaweed that has no stem, leaves, they don't have actual one, but they can make their own food through photosynthesis. You can refer to them as the algae and the seaweed. Then some are non-photosynthetic. So if you are not photosynthetic, then the point is you also don't have leaves and root and stem. Then you are a fungi, particularly a mushroom or a toadstool. Mushroom doesn't have actual leaves, stems, and roots. It has rhizoid. It has the columella and the rest. It doesn't have actual shoot system. So it doesn't make food. It just is a decomposer feeding on their decaying organisms. So that makes it a good example for a plant that doesn't have true stem, true shoot and root, and cannot make its own food. Now, let's move to those that have leaf stems and roots to the point 3. Some have seed, some don't have seed. So those that don't have seed, we move to point 4. It doesn't have seed though, but root and stem with vascular. So it has a vascular system. Some too don't have seed if they are not vascular. That would be the muscles and the liver. But the fern doesn't have seed, but it also has a vascular system that looks more like a natural plant. So we refer to them as the fern. Then some have seed. So if you're having seed, is it covered or not covered? If it is the seed is naked, then you are a conifer or the pine trees. If the seed are covered or enclosed in the flower and ovary covering the seed, then you are going to point 6. Therefore, we have, are you a seed, one seedling, that's the monocot, or are you a two seed? So we have the gymnosperms, they are the conifers not having, then we have the angiosperms that have the fruit having the seed inside. Then those that have the seedling, is it only one that are the monocots? Is it two? Is it two seed leaves? Then you are a dicot. So an example of dicot, we can talk about plants that have broadleaf plants. We have a lot of characteristics. Their roots are also not fibrous, rather they are taproot stem. That is a dicot. And the monocot too, they have a long slender leaves. They have a fibrous root system, and they have a power of the niche like the maize and all the grass family. Onion is a monocot. Then the plant that have a taproot system, a root system that has a continuance from the trunk. It has some other branches, but the fibers should they look similar and in the same sizes, even as they mature. That will lead us to a dicot and a monocot plant. So that is another example of the numbered key, which we can also make it a dichotomous. So I would advise you to do that. Convert the dicot to monocot and monocot to dicot. I will later check if you send to me via WhatsApp, or best if you can do it via Google Classroom. So you go there, any assignment that I'm giving you, then you can attach and send to me. That will keep it for long. Anytime, any day, I can go online to the Google Classroom platform and answer you. I will decide throughout the day when I'll post it there for you to do it, or you can share it on the WhatsApp page, either on the platform directly or with me personally. Or you can just keep it to yourself, or if you have a challenge, you can. So whichever way you want it. We are just few here, so those on the WhatsApp who are not being active here cannot see the assignment and they cannot disturb us with their challenges. If there's a question at this point in time, you can ask your question before we do an activity. So I'm opening for questions, and if you want to throw an insight, you can come in. So we are about finishing it. We are just 5 minutes to end. God willing, tomorrow, Tuesday, we'll talk about classification, taxonomy, and we'll look at the criteria of features used in classifying. So you have this material with you. This was taken from the learner material. Some of them I typed personally from past books. So this diagram wasn't from the learner material. Some of these are from a handout I prepared from the old syllabus. So you need this one in conjunction with the learner material. Some information I cropped from learner material. Some too I typed from my previous notes. So that's a day, but God willing, we'll study it on Tuesday, Wednesday rather, because we can't finish on Tuesday. So Wednesday or a week today like this, we'll start talking about the living organisms. If there's a question, you can raise your hand and ask. If not, I'll continue, then we can finish. We have 4 minutes to end our normal time. Alright, so there's an activity here. Now, how to use the characteristics of everyday material. So we will do this together here. You can also try it once we are done with the lesson. So we are going to use the biological case to identify some normal or general everyday materials in our classroom or in our environment. So now, This is what we are going to look at. First, we will look for physical attributes. That's the appearance, such as the shape, the size. Is it small? Is it flat? Is it round? Is it cylindrical or triangular? Then the composition. What is it made up of? Is it rubber? Is it wood? Is it ceramic or metal? And the size. Is it small or big? I'm sure by now most of you can see my screen. Myself too, I can't see my screen, but I'm sure it will be back very shortly. Yes, my screen is back, so by now everyone should see my screen. So we look for physical attributes such as the shape and size. We can talk about the size. Is it small? Is it big? Then we can also talk about uses such as carrying, holding, and erasing. So now this is the activity. These are the materials we are going to classify. Let's look at it very, very keenly. We have coin, we have pin, button, rubber or eraser. I think UK, they will say rubber, and I think America will say eraser. So rubber and eraser, they mean differently in these two countries. So that's why they decided to write rubber and eraser. Someone says she can't see my screen. I'm sure it is back now. I'm sure it's network issue here. So Vanessa, I'm sure now you can see my screen. Vanessa, just type yes or no if you can see my screen now. I can see my screen. It's working now. Yes, thank you very much. It is a network at my end here, so don't worry. When I miss it, I will try and connect very close. I'm also watching Kini from my mobile device. So is it a coin, pin, rubber, or eraser? That's the same thing. Is it a paper clip? Is it a rubber band or cock? So now let's look here. If you have the answer, you can type in the comment section, or you can also try and open your microphone and tell us small. So the substance that we are describing is small, flat and round. So something will come into your mind. So look at those that are small. Don't tell the answer now. That are small, flat and round. Why am I having issue with my screen? Sorry, my screen has left you guys. You let me stop. Sorry, I have to stop sharing my screen and start afresh. Maybe that will help me see it. I'm sure by now you can see my screen again. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, sorry, by now you can see my screen. The network. Someone asked a question. Let me check the question then. Yeah, always a guide will be given. But look at this place. The guide will be given, but you will not be giving the answers. So look at this point. These are the guide, or let me say the lead. So we see small, flat and round. The person that asked that question, try to answer me here. So something that is small, flat and round, has a hole in the center. What will be that? Let's look at the answers. Someone should help us. Any of these material that is small, flat and round. So you have a lot of things in mind, maybe two. Then the second point is, so here it will have been dichotomous, has a hole in the center. Which of them will be the answer? You can type in the comment section, or you can just open your microphone and tell us. Any material is small, flat and round, and has a hole in the center. Let me check if there has been any answer over there. Button, very good. So Patricia said it's a button. That is a button. Because button is flat. Let me check the other criteria. Flat, small, round. So it could be a button or something else. I will not mention that thing. But because we are talking about a hole in the center, we know all our buttons have a hole in it. That's where we put our needle so that our thread can pass through to hold firmly in our tab. Now, small, flat, and round does not have a hole in the center. What would be the best answer? Someone just said coin. That is Emmanuel a diamond. Yes, truly is a coin. So you see, the person that I said, will you be guided? You will be guided with the couplet or the lead, but you will not be guided as in giving the answer. So the guide are the keys, which are the couplets and specifically the individual statement that we have in our sentences. So now let's go to the second point. Small and cylindrical. Let's look at those that look small and cylindrical. Keep the answers in your mind. They are small and cylindrical. Small and cylindrical. Now let's come here. Has a sharp pointed tip. What is the answer there? Has a sharp pointed tip. Someone type the answer. Let's check from the comment section. Yeah, Michelle said pin. Morena, someone said pin. Very good. You've already done well. And the answer is pin because pin is small, cylindrical, and that's a sharp pointed link. Natalia also said pin. You've already done very well. Now, does not have a sharp pointed tip. What will be the answer here? It looks cylindrical and also sharp pointed, but doesn't have a sharp pointed tip. It is small and cylindrical, but not having a sharp pointed tip. What will be the next answer or the best answer for this? Someone said paper clip. Yeah, good. I said paper clip. Very good. Any other answer? Yeah, paper clip. Paper clip. Thank you very much. So let's move on. Paper clip from was it Esther Kumache? Yeah, paper clip from Natalia as well. So in fact, we really done very well. So Natalia said paper clip. Patricia said Michelle also said similar thing, and that is the answer. Truly. So let's read the next one. I'm waiting for my screen to come. So the next one is small and spherical. Small and spherical. So let's look at those that are small and spherical. Keep them in your mind. Made of rubber. Which one will you pick? I will say rubber band. Okay. Made of rubber. Now, before we can get it, let's look at the rest of the answers. Made of rubber. Okay, let's use for erasing. That one is too clear. Let's do that one first. Use for erasing. What will be the answer? It is small and spherical. Use for erasing. That will be which one? Let's put in the comment section. I'm watching closely. Eraser, very good. Eraser. Yeah, rubber or eraser. Manila diamond, good. Any other person. So erasing is for eraser. Used for holding things together. Yeah, I was looking at the point I was looking at something else. So later we can go and revisit our answers. Now, made of rubber. So let's go over the small and spherical, made of rubber. Made of rubber. So coin has gone, pen is gone, paper clip is the rubber band is there. But rubber band is for holding things together. So over here, the answer will be rubber band because it's for keeping things together. Another one is made of rubber. What can we put here? Made of rubber, what can you put there? So here we talk about the rubber or eraser holding things together because rubber band is used for holding things together. And made of rubber, so it will be the rubber band here too as well. And it's also used for holding things together. Can we also put a paper clip here? Can someone share the same idea? Small and spherical for holding things together. So rubber band can fit the rubber band, and here paper clip cannot fit it because it's not made up of rubber. Paper clip is made up of metal, most often than usual. And this used for erasing. This could be someone said eraser. Okay, so eraser is for the second point. The first one made of rubber could be the rubber band and rubber eraser. Sorry, the rubber here means for rubbing something, but not rubber as how do you call plastic. You should get the issue here because UK use rubber for eraser and American they use eraser as actual eraser. Let's look at the fourth point. Small and irregularly shaped. Small and irregularly shaped, made of porous material. This will lead to one. And what is that? The last point. small and irregularly shaped, made of porous material. Someone said cork, very good. So cork is made up of porous. So it's like what we have on our champagne. When you pop your champagne, you see that it looks very porous. Like that's why it floats on water because it's very, very light and it has lower density than water. So that is how biological keys help you to identify organisms. So I think that brings us to the end of the document that we have here. If there's and it's 9:07. Sorry, we are 7 minutes out of our time because we are almost closing in. If there's any question you can ask. So today we talk about biological keys, the titles, the dichotomous, and the numbered keys. We look at how to construct them and how to also read them to get answers. We perform an activity which an assessment has been given to you all that go over there and draw your biological keys. So let me know in the comment section which one you like very much or you do appreciate, or that's easier for you. Are you for dichotomous key or you are for numbered keys? Type in the comment section for us the one that you find very, very interesting to use. Is it dichotomous key or a numbered key? As we are typing the comment section, thank you very much, Patricia. You can also ask your questions so we can end today's session. I don't want this to be very, very long. So if you have a question, you can ask. Someone said, oh, very good. Actually, I will go for dichotomous key, but I think the last point of questions make the numbered key very, very nice. So someone said both, Quatin likes both, and Natalia also likes both. You can also type yours in the comment section. If there's a question you can ask, I'm waiting for a very few. So I do believe that most of us understand. Someone said, okay, then I think it's very good. Most of you like both. Hey, how to arrange? Can you go over in Santino? Our time is sad. So please give me a very short time. If all of you do agree, who was that person? I will go over a little bit. Please, that's why we asked you to join early. That was Patricia, you've been here with us. Why we have a network issue. So let me go straight to the point. Seriously. So now let me start with dichotomous too. Okay, this is numbered key. My screen is not in yet. I'm using just 2 minutes to do that. Okay, someone, Jessica Sharu says you like dichotomous. Myself too, I like dichotomous because it gets easy. You see the thing, you know the answer straight away. But numbered key also become very interesting. Yeah. Okay, a lot of people say both. I'm sharing my screen, but the network is not allowing me. So give me some time. When everything is set, I'll start explaining to you. Very good. I'm sure now you can see my screen. So now there's a numbered key, as I've been telling you guys. If you want to make this a dichotomous key now, this will be small, flat, and round. There will be no number here. So at where we have our flat and round, this is what you do. You can do something like this. Okay, this one is not the best for us because this one is not best because each one will lead to an answer. So please, I can't use this one because each one directly leads to an answer. Let me use the one I had here. So we said no leaf, stem, or root. He said 0.2. So it means that we should have written the whole of 0.2 here. As you can see, the whole of 0.2 should have been written here. So it would have been like this. Then we will have our photosynthetic here. So I'm writing this P because of sake of time and difficulty in writing on the screen. And the next one will be non-photosynthetic. So we are done with that. Then if you are photosynthetic, then the answer is algae. So here we have the answer, which is algae. So algae will be the answer. We are done with that. Non-photosynthetic is fungi. Let me write fungi, F-U-N-G. We are done. Now we come to 0.2. Let me erase this part for you. Very good. Now we come to the second point. It said 0.3. So it means that the whole of 0.3 here should have come here. So we can also draw another line like this. Sorry, it doesn't look that nice. So the 0.3 will be no C. So I will say NS. So no C. And Others are having seed, so I write seed. Those that have no seed, he said 0.4. So look at 0.4. The whole of 0.4 is to come here. So it becomes something like, let me use another color for that, so that at least it becomes a little bit easier for you to understand. So let me come to, I'm going to erase. Okay, you let me draw over the eraser that I want to erase. So the no seed, we said that is 0.4. 0.4 is root and stem. So I write this thing here. So I'll write root, then stem, S, then vascular tissue. Let me write the V. Then the second part is simple leaf or leaves only. So I will say SS. So that will be my next point over there. Then over there, my answer will be conifers. So I write conifers here. Here too, my answer will be fen. Then I write fen straight. I'll make a straight line. I'll write fen. Then I come to those that don't have C's. So those that have C, that's 0.5. So here too, I'll draw another flow chart here. Those that have seed, is it naked seed? So I can write naked seed. So naked seed. Then I'll write a dash there. What is the answer? Conifers. So I write conifers there. Now others are covered seed. So let me write CS. So covered seed. What is the answer? It's equal to 6. So under covered seed, I will do another flow chart like this. Is it one seed? So one seed, one S. Then directly you write what we call the monocots. Then is it two seeds? So two S. Then that will become the dicot. So that's how you draw your dichotomous scheme from this number cube. I'm sure by now you should understand. If not, kindly watch the video I will post on YouTube by Tuesday morning. So let me go to the dichotomous cube. How to make it a number cube. So now you write 1. So take it step by step. If you are taking no wings and waist, take that line. After that, come here. This one looks a little bit difficult, but you have to be very keen along the line. So don't just go here and come down. Take one line. When you are done, come to second line here. Then once you are done with the whole of this, it means you have finished this part. Come here. When you come to the no wings area, so my screen is off. Let me make it come so that all of you can appreciate what I'm trying to tell you. Give me some moment when it's very good. So as I was telling you, you take this line like no wings, then you come to the, if you finish here, come to the second line. If you finish there, it means you are done with the no wings. Now come to the wings. Take one pair of wings. After that, go here. When you finish, do this one. Then we are done with the one pair of wings. Then you come down, 2 pair of wings. You take this side. If you are done, come down here. Then you go here, then you finish. So it's step by step and procedural. Let me clean them and tell you how best we can do that. So you will just write 1. If you want to take the diagonal to 1, so 0.1, you write. So you say no rings. So we can have no rings. There are no rings. Where are the no rings going? There we say we have wings. So let me show you something here for you to get a better understanding. So here it is down there how it is actually written. So you see that here we have 1, then we have the arrows, no wings, legs. So over there too, you do the same similar thing. So 1, then we have, let me make it better here. So number 1, then we have arrows here, or in the curly bracket. Then we have no wings, no W. Then we have wings. Sorry, the writing will not be the best. I'm writing with the mouse. So we have wings, no wings. No wings. Then we say go to 0.2. Then the 0.2. So we write here 2. Here it will be 0.3. But be careful, don't write a 0.3. If it doesn't end at 0.3, it could be 0.4. But here, thank God that it is just 1.2, so this could be 0.3. So I advise don't bring the number here straight away. because some can go 2 or 3 steps. So point 2, if no wings, what is the next one? Is wasted or no wasted? So what is the curly bracket joining to the no wings? Have you seen here? Is the wasted and no wasted. So you write wasted or no wasted, then no wasted. Then if it is wasted, you bring a dash here, is an ant. You bring your ant over there. If it is not no waste, the answer is loud, so bring the louds there. My screen is off again. Sorry, I want to show it so that you do understand. Can someone see my screen? If you can see my screen, let me know. If you can see my screen, give me a thumbs up. I can't see my screen on my mobile device. Okay, very good. So I think I'm the only one that cannot see my home screen. So let's go to the actual screen here. So as I showed you here, we have no wings, go to 2, wings, go to 3. So no wings. What is attached to them? The curly bracket is waste and no waste. So you can write, do something like this here. Then we have no waste. So end of the way, then we have waste. So no waste, you are an ant. So you bring a dash here, then you write ant. Then here too is loud, then you write you are loud. Then we come to 3 because point 3 is about the wings. So you write your point 3. Point 3 is about the wings. When what is there is 1 pair. Let me write 1 pair or 2 pairs, so 2p. If it is 1 pair, you give it point what? 4 here. So here is point 4. And God being so good, we can end it there. So no 2 pairs become 0.5. This one is so simple that it can be the next one. But if we have another bracket or another curly bracket, the next one would have been 0.6 or 7. So now 0.4, come and write 4 here. 4 is those who are having 1 pair of wings. It's no simple eyes. You write no simple eyes. And what is that? That's a mosquito. You write a mosquito there. The next one is 3 simple eyes. So I'll write 3s. So 3 simple eyes. What organism is there? We have the housefly. Then we come to 5.5 is about weak people, those that have 3 pair of simple legs, so 2 pair of wings. Then we come and talk about them. Is the body hairy? So body hairy or body not hairy? And all these things before you realize you finish everything. So you take it step by step. Finish one line, come to the next line. So 1 pair of wings, we said 4. 2 pair, we said 5. If you have 2 pair of wings, is your body hairy? So here is the body hairy. So body H or body not hairy. So body not H. Then body hairy is a noun there. So body not hairy is, let me do this, body not hairy. That one will be butterfly. Sorry, that one will be cockroach. Then body hairy, we say go to 6. Then at the 6th point, they all have hairy body. But are you clamp antenna? So CA, clamp antenna. Then that will be our butterfly. So butterfly. Are you having a straight or pointed antenna? So PA. And that will be our moth. So that is how you convert this dichotomous key to a numbered key. I'm sure by now you should understand. So thank you very much for appreciating the understanding and the explanation. I'm sure most of us do understand. So the person that wanted me to explain, I think that was Patricia. So Patricia, I'm sure you heard a lot of people to understand this. So sorry we went 21 minutes into our time just to make this study and meeting very understandable to most of you. So in the absence of any question, I would like us to end this lesson. And I will treat you to keep on studying. I'll be posting this, God willing, tonight. I'll take some sleep. So tomorrow I'll work on the editing and post it over there for your user. Keep on studying. I wish you all the best. Catch up with you on Tuesday. We will talk about how to classify organisms, lower organisms. Then later we will talk about human and some other organisms. So I'll try and make some short video. Now I realize that most of you like the explainer video, and I'm sure most of you are subscribed to the channel because I posted some videos and I didn't tell any one of you, but I've seen that some of you have been interacting over there. So I've written some short documents. I'll make a short video. For that one, I can post within tonight or tomorrow for you. So just be on the lookout. I might post a video tonight. Some I've posted, it will come tomorrow 8. So just keep in touch and let's study together. I wish you all have a good night. See you guys same time tomorrow. But we can meet ourselves on the YouTube channel. Bye to everyone. Thank you for your time too. Thanks for appreciating Vanessa and all those that do appreciate. I appreciate your time and your trust. Bye to you all.